for our topic for today is all about the speech and language impairment, prepared by yours truly. And here's the objective of our topic. First is to know the speech and language impairment. Second, to know the forms of or the characteristic of speech and language impairments. Third is to know symptoms and followed by the causes. Then to be familiar with the tips and practices for the teachers, and last, the assistive technology. So let's begin. What is speech impairment? The term speech impairment usually refers to the inability to speak or speak coherently. People with this type of impairments will sometimes have trouble communicating with others, depending on the severity of the impairment. Speech impairment may be mild, moderate, or severe. So ito ay tumutukoy daw sa kawalan ng kakayahang magsalita o magsalita ng maayos. Madalas yung mga ganitong tao ay nagkakaproblema sa pag-usap sa ibang tao o sa kapwa-tao. At ito ang tatlong forms ng speech impairment. Una ay articulation. So, ano nga bang articulation? Ang sabi dito, the abnormal production of speech sounds. Ang ibig sabihin sa pagsasalita, no? Minsan, may naririnig tayo na parang hika, no? Yung parang sinisinok. Yung parang sinisinok siya. Pero yung pala ay isang articulation, no? Yun yung abnormal na paggawa ng tunog, no? Na kahit wala naman siyang sinok, no? Pero yung parang may naririnig tayo na sinisinok siya, ayun yun. That is articulation. So, pangalawa ay voice. Ang sabi dito, voice is abnormal spoken language production characterized by unusual speech, loudness, or quality of sounds. For example, ay yung mahina, no? Yung boses. Kapag nagsasalita siya, ay di natin naiintindihan, no? Kaya parang medyo naghahalo yung sinasabi niya. And at the end, di natin siya maintindihan, no? Yung mga sinasabi niya, kahit na Tagalog yung gamit niyang wika. For short, yung volume ng voice is mahina, no? So, third is yung fluency. Ang sabi dito is fluency, hesitation, or repetition of sounds or words that interrupt a person's flow of speech. Example daw is stuttering, no? Ito yung parang di ka sure, no? Sa sinasabi mo. Kaya ang nangyayari ay yung words na gusto mong sabihin na gusto mo i-come up is nag-uulit-ulit na, no? Yung parang di ka sure, diba? Yun, nag-uulit-ulit, no? Kung mapapansin tayong mga taong ganun is, ayun, fluency, no? Na siya nagre-resulta ng interruption, no? Ng pagsasalita o ng speech. Kaya ang nangyayari is yung mga susunod na sasabihin niya is nakakalimutan na niya dahil doon sa fluency. Kung nakakaranas kayo nito ay i-monitor nyo na yung mga sarili nyo, no? O yung mga kapatid nyo, kung may kamag-anak kayo na ganun. And don't worry, later ay i-discuss natin yung mga symptoms ng speech impairments. Okay. So, we will proceed to the impairments. So, ano nga ba yun? Ayan nga yung mga kapansanan, no, ng isang kabilang sa speech impairment. Una is makes consistent and age inappropriate articulation errors. Yung mga palaging pagkakamali sa pagsasalita. And next is yung exhibits disfluency, no, yung kawalan ng kilos. Then, third is has poor voice quality. Mahina yung boses at di masyadong maintindihan. And next yung is excessively loud or soft. Yun nga, yung lakas ng boses, no? Yun yung kung malakas o mahina yung boses. And andito yung video clip para mas maintindihan pa natin na maigi ang mga taong may speech impairment, no? So, ayan.
At the Toronto Catholic District School Board, we welcome students of diverse learning needs in a caring Catholic environment.
Good communication skills are important for school success. For some students, difficulties with speaking clearly may impact their academic potential. Some students may have difficulty saying certain sounds correctly. Their pronunciation or articulation may be unclear, so it is hard for others to understand them. Some students may repeat sounds or words when speaking. This is called stuttering, and it disrupts the smoothness, rate, and/or rhythm of their speech. Still, other students may have problems with their voice. It may sound too high or too low, raspy, or hoarse. The school speech-language pathologist will assess the student's skills and provide some intervention strategies based on the speech and language assessment results. Articulation, stuttering, and voice difficulties can range from mild to more severe, and most students with these speech problems will get some help in the regular class. For example, when their speech difficulties are mild, they may have a lisp or may make speech errors that are typical or expected for their age. In these cases, the school speech-language pathologist may simply provide the teacher and family with strategies to help the student.
Parents can help their child by consistently doing the speech activities and homework a little bit each day, every day, rather than in one big session.
Students with more significant and profound speech problems may need additional support. In the Toronto Catholic District School Board, a formal identification of speech impairment may be necessary to ensure students with profound and persistent speech difficulties are able to succeed in school. To meet these students' needs, parents may be invited to a meeting at the school called an Identification, Placement and Review Committee meeting, or IPRC, where the student will be identified as an exceptional student with a speech impairment.
So Logan was diagnosed with a childhood apraxia of speech. My child couldn't before say his name or really even have a conversation.
The school may also develop a learning plan called an Individual Education Plan, or IEP. This plan includes goals and strategies to support students with significant speech needs in class.
Students with significant speech difficulties may be teased, and they can become frustrated at their inability to be understood by others or get their message across clearly.
Some students may need the help of an augmentative communication device to help them be understood by a listener.
Some of my students may not want to speak up or participate in class. Their difficulties may also affect reading and writing. Mispronounced words may affect how they sound out and/or spell words. If they stutter, it affects how smoothly they pronounce words when they read aloud.
Parents and students can learn more about speech impairment by talking to the school speech-language pathologist. When families and schools work together, students feel loved and supported. They feel empowered to do better at school. This renewed confidence will have an impact on every aspect of the students' lives.
And now we will proceed sa mga sanhi or causes ng speech impairment. So, ang una is genetic or congenital factors. Then, second is traumatic brain injury. Then, third is neurological dysfunction. Fourth is auditory loss or processing disorder. And fifth is mental retardation. And 6 is physical impairment, 7 cerebral palsy, and 8 learning disabilities, and 9 is severe or profound multiple disabilities, and last is Tourette syndrome. So ayan, ang sabi dito, how teachers can make a difference, no? So paano natin, no, tayo, dahil we are a future educators, need natin tong malaman kung paano mag-handle ng mga student na may speech impairment. Una, sabi dito, all peers are supportive of each other. Dapat daw ay ang mga student ay may pagkakaisa, no? Pantay-pantay na pagtingin sa bawat isa. And pangalawa is always maintain eye contact with the speech impaired student during the whole time. So kapag may kipag-interact ka with or tayo with speech impairment student, dapat ay laging naka-eye contact sa kanila, no? At pangatlo ay sabi dito, do not finish sentences or fill in words for the individual stutters. Pangatlo ay kapag ang kausap natin ay yung nauutal at hindi nasabi yung or hindi niya masabi yung gusto na dapat ay gusto niya sabihin, ay dapat ay punan natin o ibigay natin yung gusto nilang sabihin na word, no? Nang sa gayon ay matutulungan natin sila at maging kalmado rin sila at the same time. So now we are here at the symptoms, no? Kung kayo or yung mga kamag-anak nyo ay nakakaranas ng ganitong symptoms, better to look up professional experts para maagapan ang speech impaired na mga relatives nyo. At ito ang mga sumusunod na symptoms. Una is yung repetition, no? Yung pag-uulit-ulit ng kanilang mga sinasabi. Then next is yung frustration, yung pagkaninlangan, no? And next is yung head jerking. Yung alam natin na yung nagtitilt yung head nila, that is a symptoms of the speech impaired person. Then next is yung eye blinking, yung di normal na pagpikit ng mata, yung sunod-sunod na yung pag-blink ng eye nila, ng mata nila. And next is yung embarrassment, yung labis na pagkaya, no? Yung mahiyain, masyadong mahiyain, yung di na normal. Then next is yung pitch deviation, yung tono, no? Yung taas. And quality and sound deviation, mahina, kung naintindihan mo ba natin maigi, no? Then substitution, yung pagpapalit-palit ng mga sinasabi, yung parang naging magulo na, no? Then next is yung no meaning, no? Hindi natin maintindihan yung sinasabi. Then omit consonants, no? Consonants sa Tagalog is yung katinig, no? Walang katinig. Then next is yung sound distortion, no? Medyo naging magulo yung voice niya. Siyempre kung mayroong speech impairment ay may language impairment din, no? Yung magkadikit yung dalawang yan, speech and language. First, what is language impairment? So, ang sabi dito, a language impairment is difficulty or inability to master the various systems of rules in language which then interferes with communication. Ang language impairment daw ay kahirapan sa kawalang kakayahan na makaintindi sa partikular na lengguwahe, no? Mapasalita man o sulat man ito. At nandito ang ilang mga katangian ng language impairment. So, una is yung unable to follow oral direction, no? Halimbawa, tayo mga student is related dito, no? Kapag English ang direction ng English direction, no, yung sinabi ng ating teacher, parang di natin maintindihan, no? Or yung parang di maintindihan ng ilan. Minsan ay pinapaulit pa natin ito para lang na maintindihan natin. Pangalawa is yung unable to match letter with sound. Ayan, yung example dyan is yung kanta na ABCD, no? Then, pangatlo is cannot create rhymes. Example dito is yung di makabuo ng tono sa tula, no? Ito yung kadalasan ginagamit sa mga tula, no? Yung tono sa tula. Then, pang-apat is yung cannot break words into syllables, no? Syllables o yung pantig. Example sa word na tornado, no? Nahati ito sa 3 syllables. Tornado, 3, di ba? And next is yung has an inadequate vocabulary. Ang sabi dito is yung kakulangan sa kaalaman. And pang-6 is yung demonstrate poor concept formation. Kapag ginagawa o gumagawa ng essay or kapag gumagawa sila ng essay ay di concrete yung paggawa ng concept at paggamit ng mga salita, no? 7 is yung does not understand nuances, non-verbal messages, or humor. Hindi agad nila magets, kumbaga yung ay slow, no? Sa atin, loading. Kapag gamit ng ibang language, mapa-English man o Pilipino man ito, no? Yung nagpapatawan na pala yung Englishero pero hindi nila magets agad kasi hindi nila alam o hindi sila master sa particular na language na iyon. So, pang 8 is yung has difficulty conveying messages or conversing with others, no? Hirap sa gustong ihatid o sabihin na mensahe para sa iba. And last is yung has difficulty expressing personal needs, no? Hirap sila sa pagsasabi ng pangangailangan nila, no? Bakit? Dahil di sila ganoon kabiyasa sa paggamit ng language na yon, no? So, dadako na tayo sa mga causes o sanhi ng language impairment. So, meron tayo ditong brain injury, genetic causes, autism, ear infection, no appropriate role models, left alone often, and no appropriate role models, left alone often, no? Ito yung mga child na lumaki nang walang mga nag-aalaga sa kanila or walang nagtuturo ng magagandang mga hindi natutukan, no? So this is the causes of the language impairment. And last is ignored when trying to communicate, no? Dito sa ignored when trying to communicate class ay dapat wag natin isawalang bahala, no? Kapag may lumapit sa atin na alam natin na may language impaired o may language impaired yung isang tao, dahil kapag in-ignore natin yun, no? Tatatak yun sa isip nila at di na nila yun gagawin pa uli. Siyempre, matakot na sila na ma-ignore ulit, no? So, kung tayo ng mga normalist, takot tayo ma-ignore, no? Ulit o yung ma-fail ulit, no? Siyempre, lalo pa naman kaya sila, no? So, pero it depends dun sa tao, no? Na may language impaired. Yung iba naman ay sige pa din kahit hirap sila sa pag-communicate. Pero mas magandang iwasan natin ang yung pagiging deadma. Here is the assistive adaptive technology. Una, meron tayo dito ang Kidspiration software. Ano nga ba yung Kidspiration software? This is software na nag-allow sa users to visually display and organize thoughts, ideas across various disciplines. And this is also appeals especially to visual and auditory learners, as users can hear and see words, numbers, and concepts. And second is yung graphic organizer. As we can see, sa gilid na number 2, may makita tayo dyan na picture, T-chart. No? So, what is T-chart? No? This is a type of chart, a graphic organizer in which students list and examine two facets of topic, like the pros and cons associated with it on advantage versus disadvantage or facts versus opinions. Third is augmentative and alternative communication. Ano nga ba yun, no? Ito yung kung alam nyo na yung parang laruan siya, no? Yung tiles na parang tiles, then may mga ano siya, letter na A to Z, no? Yung button yun. Then kapag yun pinindot mo, yung halimbawa pinindot mo yung letter A, may magsasalita, no? Halimbawa yung sinabi is apple, or kung ano man yung relate dun sa letter A na word na yun. Yan ulit ang ilang tips para sa mga teachers if may students sila na may language impaired. Una is be near to the student when giving instruction. Dapat maging malapit tayo sa kanila kapag tayo ay nagbibigay ng mga instructions, no? Or mga or mga yawang ating mga pinapaliwanag. Then second is speak slowly and deliberately. No, maging mabagal sa pagsasalita dahil hindi pa expert yung ating mga kausap, no? They are receiving knowledge, no? Hindi sila expert. Okay? Third is yung provide step by step direction. Linawin pa natin na maigi yung mga instruction na binibigay natin sa kanila. Then pang-apat is yung use gesture that supports understanding, no? Ano yung mga hand gesture dahil mas nakakatulong ito sa pag-iintindi nila, no, sa mga ine-explain mo. Then last is yung be patient when child is speaking. Bigyan natin ng effort, no, dahil tayo ang kanilang mga guidance, no. Kumbaga para tayong mentor, no, huwag mainip at intindihin ang kanilang mga sinasabi o gusto nilang iparating. For the summary of this topic, many of these disorders are diagnosed during childhood. Patients may struggle in academic setting and may have problems with social interaction. Many children with this disorder show dramatic improvement by adolescents. However, people with severe communication disorders may experience ongoing challenges to their ability to function as independent adults. So, yan. There is a reflection questions to help us to understand the speech impairment and language impairments. So again, thank you for listening and hope you learn a lot.